Hey guys, Spider Keeks here, and this is my review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I've been very excited for this movie ever since it was first announced in December of 2017. With that first teaser trailer making me excited no matter what. I mean, I had Homecoming that year as well, but it wasn't as much of a Spider-Man-ish excitement that I thought it was going to be, but it was still a pretty good movie no matter what. But 2018, oh boy, was it the year of Spider-Man. Everything Spider-Man related was just incredible. Whether it was from video games, movies, TV shows, even comic books had some pretty good Spider-Man moments as well. Let's talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and why it's considered the greatest Spider-Man movie ever, if not the greatest comic book movie ever. Yes, this is my favorite superhero movie of all time, no matter what. I adore this movie a lot. Everything that was in this movie was effort. It was an art film, a film that achieved something that has never been achieved in computer animation before. This weird psychedelic feeling that makes it incredible to watch over and over again. Even if you don't follow the story, the visuals are just spectacular, I'm telling you. The reason why I went to see it the second time, yes, the story is just incredible, but the animation is just like something I've never seen. This movie was directed by 4 people, which usually is a problem in most movies these days, since, you know, if you have a bunch of writers and a bunch of directors, it just doesn't end up that good, you know? I don't want to name a few, but it is very rare to see this effort put into this type of style. The music is just good. You know, I'm not a big fan of having, you know, rap music in sort of movies like this, or most generic mainstream music, since it's sort of sometimes interfere unless it progresses the story. But it made sense for the setting of where Miles Morales came from, and the type of character he is. You know, that one scene where he was listening to Post Malone's Sunflower actually was relevant in the movie. To say I didn't care, on all these don't care, try to get up there. I love this that you don't care. That you don't care. I love that you don't care. Do something to do. Let's talk about the cast and characters of Into the Spider-Verse, starting with Miles Morales, who is basically the character we follow along throughout the movie, and is definitely one of the best parts as well. I really appreciate Shamik Mul's performance in this movie as Miles Morales. I really liked him in whatever he's in these days, including Dope and this movie. We definitely relate to this character no matter what, from his background with his parents and his uncle, even to like him trying to get a girl, you know? Like, we definitely relate to him no matter what throughout the film. When he gets bitten by that radioactive spider, that's when he starts to realize the responsibility that he must change throughout the movie. And that's what makes him a great character. I love how he starts out as a weak Spider-Man, and then by the third act he becomes something greater than any other Spider-Mans before, testing out his new abilities, testing out his strength, testing out if he actually is a Spider-Man. Now let's cut to the next Spider-Man, which is Peter B. Parker. No, not the main Peter Parker in Miles' universe, but a different Peter Parker from a parallel universe where he's more of an old man Peter Parker, something I've been dying to see on the big screen for a very long time. Since we're used to Peter Parker being this generic 16-year-old guy who we have to follow along throughout the past 50 years since he's been around, it's insane. But what makes this Spider-Man work is that he doesn't have that same spark that he used to have before, since he's been Spider-Man for over 20 years now and dealt with the death of Aunt May, his divorce, basically like a more older Spider-Man compared to the one in the PS4 game where he was 23 years old. I love his voice actor. I know it's that one guy from New Girls, I forgot his name, Jake something, but he did a great job portraying the Spider-Man. And originally they were going to get Tobey Maguire to play as Spider-Man, but you know, he already did, and it would have been kind of weird if he was able to voice another Spider-Man again. I don't know, maybe in the sequel he can voice himself, but then we got Spider-Gwen, who is the Spider-Woman of the movie, besides this other one I'm going to talk about later on, who is actually a pretty good side character. I thought she was gonna be like the generic love interest of Miles Morales, which they do hint there, but you know, she's still that one Spider-Man that is able to help throughout the movie and has a very interesting backstory from the universe that she's from. Then we get to the 3 other Spider-Men in the movie, the ones that are there, but they're more of side characters in my opinion. Starting with Spider-Man Noir, voiced by the great Nicolas Cage, and he definitely committed to this role no matter what. I know Nicolas Cage is in depth, and he definitely has a lot of movies he's been doing these past couple of years, like, I think like 4 to 5 movies a year he's been doing, which is insane. He's got to pay his debt that he owed to like those islands or I don't know castle. He like has a bunch of shit that he needs to like pay back to. It's insane. Like he is one crazy actor, and you can tell by his performance in this movie that he goes all out in this movie. Then we got my favorite of the Spider-Men, Penny Parker, who has a giant mech Spider-Man that I definitely adored no matter what. It kind of reminds me of like something that came out of Overwatch in like an anime. And I've read up on this Spider-Man, Penny Parker. I've heard she's been sort of a Neon Genesis Evangelion-ish Spider-Man, since she was also written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, which is insane. Even though the design is different, I do enjoy her throughout the movie, as well as her giant mech design as well. Every moment in the movie, including her character design, was just hilarious. That's why she was just my favorite. It's just her design was just anime in a 3D movie. It just worked. And then we get to my least favorite of the Spider-Man. I know that everyone loves, and I understand he's a pretty funny Spider-Man, but it's Spider-Ham. I'm sorry, but he was just, something that kids kind of laughed at, because when I went to see it, the kids were mainly laughing at that Spider-Man than any of the other ones. I was laughing more at Spider-Man Noir and Penny Parker Spider-Man, but for the little kids, they will definitely enjoy Spider-Ham in the movie because he is basically the embodiment of a cartoon Spider-Man. I also love how Aunt May is more of a badass in this movie. Mary Jane doesn't have much to do in this movie, she's just there and there, and I don't want to explain some of the villains, but there are some crazy surprises. I'm not going to spoil anything about the villain surprise, I kind of want you guys to see it to believe it. The design of Kingpin, I just love. Kingpin in this movie was just that one guy from Despicable Me. You know that like villain boss from the first movie? Yeah, that's what Kingpin design was, and I just loved when it was shown on screen. I know it's nothing like the Kingpin from Daredevil or the comics, it's vaguely different. Each Spider-Man had their moment to shine. I loved how someone actually died in this movie too. I'm not going to say who dies, but there are some depths and some adult moments that were presented into the Spider-Verse, like guns and some mature themes. That's what made the movie really well, and one of the best movies this year. It was able to be both a kids movie and both a mainstream adult movie as well. Like, an actual like movie that takes serious messages and serious like morals and presents itself on the big screen in an animated film. An animated film did that. How did this happen? Like, how did we do this at this moment? This is the ultimate love letter to the Spider-Man franchise, and I hope it continues on with its sequels and spin-offs that they just announced that I'm looking forward to. And I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. It was hard for me to find some flaws with this movie, since there aren't any flaws with it. I mean, yeah, I kind of wish it was a little bit longer than I thought it would be. It's not a great film, it's not an amazing film, it's not even a spectacular film. It is a masterpiece film. It is the ultimate film of 2018, and I believe it will continue on to be one of the best anime films of this past decade, and one of the best superhero movies of all time. Yep, I said it. Better than Infinity War, better than The Dark Knight, better than The Incredibles, better than... You know what I'm talking about, all of those movies, all of them, because guess what, Spider-Man is where it's at. And that's why anyone can wear the Spider-Man mask. You can wear the Spider-Man mask. Anyone in this world can wear the Spider-Man mask, no matter what. Anyone can wear the Spider-Man mask. Anyone! One! Sorry, girls. How does Spider-Man do it? He must have had some sort of, like, oxygen under there. Spider-Man, how do you do it? How do you breathe under this mask? This is Spider Keeks from Earth 69. That's actually a dimension. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it, Spider-Man? How do you do it? How do you wear this mask? How do you wear this mask? How do you do it? I really want to know. You gotta give me the answers. You gotta give me the answers. You gotta give me the answers. Come on, you gotta give me the answers. I mean, what the hell? I'm Spider Keeks. Spider Keeks, for Christ's sakes. I am the one and only Spider Keeks in this dimension, and I deserve answers of how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? Oh yeah, the after credits is hilarious. You know that one Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other? Yeah, it happens, but it reveals one of the other Spider-Mans from an alternate dimension. Be sure to like and subscribe for more great content. My name is Spider Keeks, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.